Pray to God.
The famous last words, Des. I'm waiting for round one.
Last words.
I'm
For
waiting
me to drop a massive expletive on stream as it goes all over my desk and all over my lap. Yeah, absolutely. Consulate is ready. Let's get into it. Liquid versus Empire for our third game here on B stream of the day. The Russians stepping into their first fixture. Liquid, in case you'd missed them in the last one, did have a pretty dominating show over TSM. This time, though, it's a different map, a different playing field entirely. And Empire, I'm sure, have got something spicy planned for us, Tim.
It's difficult to say that after the two games that we've had so far, Na'Vi SSG and the Liquid game against TSM last out, we've been absolutely ruined so far. And it's difficult to come in saying, I think this could be the game of the day. I think this could be the best one. But genuinely, I think this could be the best game of the day. This could be an absolute humdinger between Liquid and Empire here. I want to see the best two versions of these teams turn up because I genuinely think it could be the two of the best teams that we're going to see here at the Mexico Major. So I just want them to turn up and give it all. I don't want any mistakes. I don't want any silliness. Just get in there, hit your shots, and let's have an absolute war.
Fans coming out pretty quick as well. Nomad and Valkyrie, a pairing we're so used to seeing on Consulate as a pairing. Nomad, because you can drop down 3 of those air jabs on different windows around the map, have your Nomad or a support player sit outside the map and just watch windows and stop any jump out madness coming through. Valkyrie, often enabling those jump outs. If you see a Nomad ban, you often have to pair the Valkyrie with it. Otherwise, they're going to be out every single window going as you're trying to find where those tiny little black eye cams are scattered to the trees. Thatcher, often used to open up things like Mute and Mozzie blockades, or in some cases by Empire. In fact, I touched on this before, and I'm really glad we've seen it come out of Liquid. When Na'Vi played against Empire on this map, Thatcher was not banned. Empire terrorized Na'Vi with the Thatcher. They just yeet a couple of those EMPs into Garage in the late round, disable every bit of utility in there, whether they were Evil Eyes, Melusi, Banshees, everything, running and plant, and there was nothing that Na'Vi could do about it. So I think actually it's quite smart presence of mind from Liquid to ban that away. And the Wamai, say what you want to say about it here. For some, it's just a very big comfort operator and very good for stacking up on yellow stairs, for example.
Exactly that. Like you say, it might just open up some areas of the map like that. Now, we've got Always bringing along the Jaeger, so the projectiles will still be dealt with more than likely. We've got Scyther on the Wamai, just going to put the little Banshee inside of the garage there. It is worth reminding everybody that we do have the new Banshees. They were nerfed, so when players move into them now, it exposes a core, essentially, that can be shot out. They don't have to get all the way up to it and melee it anymore, so that does make them slightly less oppressive, slightly easier to deal with, but they still certainly have their place. Now, JoyStiCK, top floor, Nitro, talk to me, Des.
Doesn't it make you ever so slightly nervous when you just see JoyStiCK being off on the roam somewhere?
Out that console window it goes.
It may well do. We've seen it before, and in fact, we saw it in the replays at the very start of this game. The announcement for Empire, brilliant C4 came out onto Secret. I think it was Keenan, who was stood on the south side outside the balcony, outside the garage door, sorry. And caught him with the C4 from the top floor.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Fair enough. It was Secret. Got domed, either way you want to look at it. What I like is, though, the fact they've got 2 or 3 players playing on this top floor. Bearing in mind they're defending the basement, there are 3 of them on the top floor here and saying to Liquid, come and find us. Come and chase us down because you've got to deal with Mute. You've got to deal with Mozzie. Once you've cleared the second floor, you've got to worry about the first floor. There is going to be so much for Liquid to think about.
Well, that's it. They're going to be going in with a serious lack of information you would expect with, as you say, Mute and Mozzie both on board. You would expect them to not quite have the same freedom with drones that they might like. Now, the information gathering will continue. There was a small challenge out onto Dan. He's going to burn his Nitro out onto the balcony there. There's nobody that is going to getting caught out with that. The upside down rappel was way out of range of any potential explosive. And this is what I was talking about with Dan, this just rotational roaming style. Just happy to drop hatches to move away. JoyStiCK's going to do that. Top floor's given up at this point pretty much as Empire drop away, but they're going to continue the fight on the mid floor for the time being. They're not, it's looking like, going to let Liquid have any presence in this map without fighting tooth and nail, without getting up in the faces. Nothing is going to be given easily to them.
I think JoyStiCK's crawling his way back up the stairs here as well. Oh, he's going back for seconds, mate, or afters, as you'd call them.
That's dessert, not seconds.
All right, whatever, mate. He's going back for extras. Whether it's extra food of a dessert nature or the main course, God knows. But at this point, wants to take a chunk out of them. Decided actually he doesn't really like what's on offer. Backs away back down into the basement. So Empire are now, I think, pretty much all back on site. Now the question is how fast the Liquid read into that, because as it stands, they're still currently on the top floor, looking to ensure that there isn't anyone being too cheeky. A 2-floor angle down onto the Kite Electro Core removes it off the wall, and now they can start looking at getting things opened up. What I don't mind about this for Liquid was against TSM, they had a couple of rounds where 2 minutes were not wasted, but spent clearing roamers, all that kind of good stuff, and they still managed to win a round. So I think as long as they move fast in this final 40 seconds, there shouldn't be a massive issue.
ShepparD gets that breach open, has the diffuser in hand, and is poised, ready to go in and get the diffuser down. There is vertical supremacy here from Team Liquid, opening up those angles as NESKWGA Muringa, they just go to work on that floor and force Empire deeper and deeper back. That's another nitro expended, and another one that does not find its mark or a kill. ShepparD looking to plant just on the threshold here. This is an interesting one. He's inside the smoke, and that's essential cover coming in from Paluh. Essential triple. PSK finds one onto JoyStiCK, and like dominoes, Empire just drop one by one after another, and Team Liquid with a successful plant and a successful round open things up 1-0.
Well, that happened. It was like I said it at the 40-second mark. For Liquid, I don't mind that they take 2 minutes getting themselves set up for an execute, because the executes look so damn good. They've just pulled off a 3K from Paluh on yellow, one man stepping inside under the cover of smoke, because they knew that all the C4s had been committed by Empire to trying to fight vertically. As soon as you hear that second or third C4 come out, you can go, okay, they've got this many on side, they've spent that many. Oh, they can't stop us anymore. There's nothing on there that can really damage them. There's no smoke on side, for example. So really well played by Liquid to draw that out. For Empire, maybe want to be ever so slightly more conservative with that destructive utility. Save it for when the plant is going down. And in that case, maybe the round goes your way.
Round 2 then, we're going to be up to the top floor this time around. Empire, I think quite wisely deciding that they don't want another part of that garage defense for the time being, because Team Liquid, quite frankly, have just shown an absolute mastery in attacking that in the late round. So we're going to go up to the top floor. We've got Dan on the Aruni just opening up the line of sight there. If you're wondering why he's doing that, it's just to allow an option. If you're playing holding on to yellow stairs, which is a really popular area to try and hold on to for this site, if you do that, you can cover, thank you, easy, the plant spot that you can see at the bottom of your screen behind the desk there from the stairs. So that's why that gets opened up. However, there's a really popular C4 that can be played as well. The hatch has been opened up underneath. If you've got a player down in piano, you can launch the C4 through the hatch, through the wall that's been opened up, and out onto the stairs. It's one that I believe we saw first in LATAM, so I'm sure Liquid are going to be more than prepared for that. But that is another reason why that area has been opened up.
I've seen some cheeky ones. We saw it in EUL this stage as well not too long ago. So one that both tied, well, one that arguably both sides should be aware of, assuming, of course, Empire have done their homework. It's Dan looking to play inside a meeting. Normally where you'd see a mute playing, or a smoke, for example, playing with those smoke canisters here. No, it's going to be the Aruni looking to do that instead. Again, I don't worry too much about how long Liquid take to get things done here, because the executes are always solid. But we'll see what damage Empire can do in the early round. Can they find anyone and catch them off guard before Liquid get too comfortable for the execute?
It was Paluh who managed to get the first kill last time around. Liquid will be looking to get a solid start once again. A little bit sooner might be nice this time. It was right up at the point that the execute was about to start going down. But look at this. We've got Scyther and JoyStiCK both underneath. And right now, Team Liquid aren't really doing anything to try and move them necessarily. They've opened up that piano window, but then NESKWGA's dipped away. He's got PSK in tow with him. I'm not sure if NESKWGA's going to maybe have a look at moving in through the main door. He's just trying to find an angle onto somebody at the minute, but they're going to have to deal with these two operators underneath. There's no way they can go in for a plant attempt whilst there's two nitros underneath.
This is the big question as well. Is like, why would Scyther ever peek on front door here? He's going to have to do a bit more than that. He'll have to move quite aggressively. C4 comes out as PSK almost gets taken down. Not quite enough to find the completed kill. But you can see 2 or 3 of them currently lurking around that console window looking to make an impact. Nest, the one now playing onto the south side to threaten inside a connector. Just trying to make Empire move, make them squirm here, make them a little bit more uncomfortable before they look to go for their execute. There's PSK finding the opening, sorry. Is that to JoyStiCK inside of console as well?
Certainly
run out. Oh, but NESKWGA, there he is.
3 versus 3 as we see kills raining in either direction. Muringa finds Always out on the yellow stairs, and that's going to give Liquid a good advantage here. It's all down to ShepparD and Dan, but ShepparD, we know, is a clutch master in these situations. He's unflappable. He will make solid decisions, and he will make life difficult for Team Liquid. 40 seconds left to go, though. They're going to have to absorb a lot of pressure here. We can see Liquid are getting themselves on the drones and just looking to get in and get information for the time being. Paluh's got the yellow stairs locked down. From there, he can hold on to connector and meeting. He can prevent a push potentially towards a diffuser plant going down in console. So step 1 has been achieved here. 20 seconds left to go. Liquid need to get moving in towards getting this diffuser down. Paluh, I think, just pinging out that there's a man there. He takes a chunk of health off ShepparD, who drops the hatch. He's going to have to rotate underneath Des. He might not be able to get in time to impact this. Paluh will be shut down by Dan, though, in a big moment. Muringa has to come off the diffuser, gets the kill and goes back onto it, but he's got the man underneath. There are no seconds left. He has to stick this. There's nothing ShepparD can do. Muringa's moved away from the angle, and he is successful. And suddenly, the round swings in the favour of Team Liquid when it looked like ShepparD was going to be able to lock it down. It's 2 versus 1. He knows there's a Claymore. Looks to dip out. Cannot find the kill. Muringa shuts him down. And what an attack. And what a heads-up play from Muringa there.
That was a really nicely executed closing part to the round as well, because for a couple of seconds it looked like they might be able to pull it back. The swing in from console door, the play from below, just the intuition coming out as well to prevent themselves being targeted from below. Really smart stuff coming out for Liquid. 2 opening rounds, the first one being flawless, that second one looking very clean at the execute, even though they'd lost a few members. Solid start for the LATAM side.
Very solid indeed. 2-0 coming out to start things off, and 2 rounds, 2 plants. They are being able to get in there and play the objective. This time, just that repositioning was beautiful. He knew that he was exposed to the smoke underneath and just backed far enough away to prevent the angle being found, but he was on the clock. He had a fraction of a second to do it. So fantastic play from Team Liquid. Now then, Team Empire, they're going to go back up to console once again here in round 3. Nothing majorly different in terms of the lineup. Last time we had Scyther and JoyStiCK playing underneath, they were basically ineffectual down there. They're going to have to do something more this time.
I think what makes me nervous for Empire, the reason maybe why they're retrying this site, you know, one of the lowest attacker win or defender win rates in EUL at the moment, is because they know how badly they got rolled on the downstairs. They know that Liquid can deal with that roam play, so they think, okay, we've got to make top floor work. Where else do they go? They can play press and lobby, but you get threatened and pushed out the same way that they would do if they were defending on the downstairs. Your final site then really to play is going to be the split site, which is quite hard to pull off a good defensive execute of, to be honest with you. So I think they're a little bit, not so much lost for ideas here, but nervous about what it is they can do that's going to work effectively against Liquid.
Coming into the early stages of the action phase then, we've got that window prepped potentially just next to Scyther on the antechamber there. The barricade has been 2 hit underneath, and I'm not sure if that's to try and get, you can sometimes, depending on the window, you can get an angle underneath the barricade if you take out the bottom slat of it, and it can be used for a little bit of a peek, but there is also the potential for being used and primed as a jump out potentially, especially if the challenge is going to come into piano window like it did last time around. So we'll see how Scyther progresses with that, whether he keeps himself playing inside of antechamber and can take advantage. At the minute, he's just a little bit away from that, so that's not going to be a risk for them right now. JoyStiCK is playing underneath inside of piano. So once again, Liquid, they're going to have to deal with those roamers. They did it very well last time around.
I can't imagine they'll feel too bad about this. No, here it's about trying to get control of yellow, which without the Wamayan side is a lot harder than it would normally be. You only really have those 3 charges of ADS if you really want to commit them all in there to make this happen. Long gone are the days of yeeting like, what, 9 different bits of utility into yellow to try and catch the player playing at the top of them. Mix of flashes and frags was normally the go-to, but in this case, always very quickly chased away, and that's why you've got these shields being set up in front of long desk here, facing out towards the west, just to stop it being too easy for Nest to come walking in. They have got this yellow control here with half the round currently elapsed too. Not a bad start for Liquid, and with no one going down the side of Empire, I think both sides will be looking at this one and saying, okay, we're relatively happy with how it started, but it's about how it progresses that really matters.
Certainly is, and they need to be careful, Empire, inside a site here with Liquid, and especially Nesk established at the top of yellow there. It does allow them to cut off a few rotations. I'm just very keenly watching JoyStiCK still. Underneath, Scyther as well. There's nothing really been done about those two. 59 seconds left to go, and this is going to make a plant very, very difficult. Now, Nesk, he takes a lot of damage there, just being really chipped away at the top of yellow stairs, and it feels like Liquid, they've just stalled out a little bit, and Empire might just have the answers here in round 5. JoyStiCK is looking to get an angle through the hatch. He's going to dip away for the time being, play himself inside of the round desk and underneath meeting, but with 30 seconds left to go, Liquid have got to do something here.
I mean, and like I say, I'm never really too nervous about their executes, but here, losing one, that's the kind of thing that can sting here. It's Paluh as well. The man that was so big for you in round 1. muringa looking to try and make a push forward, but he gets shut down by SexyK. They found a couple. The C4 not connecting onto anyone. Oh, narrowly missing the Jaeger. Does he win this one? No! Always a crouch. Not always, sorry. Going to find himself a kill. It was always down into a triple. Make it a 4K to close the round out. Big round from Dan, and it all started with that jump out onto the meeting balcony.
Much better from Empire there. They just managed to keep themselves alive into the late round, first and foremost, by comparison to the previous console round, where that underneath the sort of anti-chamber piano hold was cleared out reasonably easily by Liquid, and they were able to go in and think about getting the diffuser down, whereas there it was never a realistic option. They had to go deep into sight, which forced them to go in and try and get those kills, and as you say, Dan and Always, they were quite happy to just stand with backs to the wall and take the kills as they came to them. So that might just be the spark that Empire need now to get them into it. They need to find some momentum off the back of that, but it's back down to Garage, and that is not a position that they defended particularly well back in round 1. Liquid, with 40 seconds, were able to breach the wall, move in, plant, basically do a bit of everything, and there was nothing Empire could do to stop them.
Changed away a couple of operators here as well. The Echo and the Maestro coming in place of the Kaid and the Jaeger that we saw ShepparD and Always respectively rocking back in round number 1. It was that flawless round because arguably, again, those C4s were just committed a bit too aggressively towards trying to challenge in towards Anti and inside of Piano. They've only got 2 on side with the Mute and the Mozzie. They're the ones playing on their own, so you are chancing your denial. But that's why I think you're looking towards both the Evil Eyes coming along that can help you, of course, with laser beaming the guys planting to death, as well as the Yokais to also provide some denial. So this could work out really well for the side of Empire, as long as they aren't conceding C4s or losing the Maestro too early in the round.
It's adaptation, it's changes, it's what we need to see from Empire, because as you say, you know, rinse and repeat the same thing against a team like Liquid, you're going to get the same outcome. Scyther, he's on that bathroom window. There's a man just underneath now. It looks like attention is being paid, so don't go for the peak. He's in the drone, so you know you're there, Scyther. It's time to be relocating and moving away. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself on the short end of Paluh's rifle, I would imagine, as he starts to think about potentially repelling. I think he's just very aware that he might be being baited in here for a challenge from elsewhere, but he's just going to try and hold that line, see if he can pick up a cheek kill onto Scyther, but he won't be able to. Scyther's moved away. He's too smart for that. He's going to get himself off into the map. Dan, JoyStiCK also out on the roam with him, as you say, a big presence away from sight, and does make you wonder whether there's a weakness there that Liquid could exploit.
They really like this 3-man roam, to be fair, Empire. Normally they'll have 3 playing up on the top floor, 1 playing towards yellow, and then 2 playing off towards the east side, out towards admin meeting side. JoyStiCK being one of those 2 players that you're seeing right now. I imagine with the fact that you've got an Echo and the Maestro on side, this might be a little bit more passive. Time will tell, of course, but one thing Liquid has shown they are pretty good at is not getting picked off early on by these roamers. They're making sure they've got each other's backs covered. There are good flank drones in place. There's good intel collection in general. A lot of that being helped along by an operator that we haven't really mentioned yet. We have seen the entire half, PSK playing on the 0.
And a lot of information, as you say. We've got a number of cams that are active there, just feeding information back into the side of Team Liquid. 1 minute 20 though, and still not a kill on the board. Still trying to gather information. Paluh, he's barely moved his feet for the majority of this round. Been playing underneath that bathroom window. We saw him last time. His position will be on yellow stairs. The difficulty is, if they haven't got those Empire defenders pushed back to sight, he could be challenged from either side, so it makes it more difficult for him to cover the sight side, therefore before allowing ShepparD to get the diffuser down. So these are all the moving parts of the puzzle that need to come together to allow Liquid to get inside a site and deal with this. Now, Nesk, he's pretty confident inside a piano. He's opening things up. He's going to allow for that wall to be breached even further. But I'd be interested to see what impact Empire can have from the roam here if they are still active out in the map. Although I'm seeing a lot of silhouettes underneath us now, and I think there's 4 out of 5 back on site. I'm not sure if I count a 5th.
What makes me nervous is there are still 3 frag grenades available for Liquid. They've held onto these for a lot of the round, but I thought they might commit them a bit earlier on to try and play through these verticals. Scyther with a drop from the top floor. I was going to say surely he can find the kill, but no. Muringa finds him inside the smoke. In comes the echo drone from behind as well. Going to instruct ShepparD, who doesn't know where one is. Wants to challenge onto Dan here. Finds the kill, but can he do anything else about this now? He's got Evil Eyes focusing him down. There's a yokai on the ground. He kills it out. Might now be able to make this work. Muringa, the only one that can provide any kind of help though. Here he is. ShepparD coming to go in the well. One lay down on the ground. If he could get this stopped, he could do it all, but Muringa's just too damn good. 3k in the round, and Liquid find yet another one, even with Empire's adaptations coming through.
What are we witnessing? ShepparD just going on a little tear through sight, chasing down the yokai drone, and essential that he hit those shots there, because otherwise that could have been the round 1. And Muringa come in with a big 2k to save him whilst the diffuser was going down, but it was certainly down to the wire for Team Liquid there. But good decisions were made, and they enabled themselves to have the opportunity to close out the round, and they go now 3-1 on the attack of Consulate. And this time Empire are going to switch things up by heading to press and lobby.
Okay, they are stepping away from one of those sacred 2 sites. I think realizing here that Garage is just not their forte. Things are not working out for them. Here, Liquid have got them all figured out. They can't do damage on their own like they're used to doing against EU teams. So the whole game plan essentially just falls apart, it seems to feel like. Let's see how press and lobby shapes up though, and then of course the next round maybe would even find ourselves heading into, say, the split site. If this round goes well, of course they have to win this one for it to be locked off, and then they've got the hard choice of the split site or going downstairs or potentially going back onto the top floor. In fact, I imagine top floor will be the answer, given that is the only other site they've been successful on. Time will tell. We'll see how this round plays out.
It's going to be an important one here because it could guarantee Liquid the advantage at the half. As you said, there's been mixed success of holding on to the top floor for Team Empire so far. They've won a round up here and lost a round up here. There's going to be largely the same hold here. They're going to try and keep hold of meeting particularly for as long as possible because it prevents the plant coming in at the double door. And given what we've seen from Liquid so far down in Garage, a double door plant wouldn't surprise me too much. Much the same as just getting inside of the breach and getting the diffuser down. Something that they have tried to do and may look to do the same here. So if they want to do that, it's going to be essential that they clear out meeting first.
Time will tell if they manage to clear it out at all. Saw Dan having an absolute field day from there prior. But here at least admin for Nesk. And this is one thing I've got to give as a bit of a nod to some LATAM teams, right? You think about Oregon and about basement attacks. They like to go for this kind of multi-sided attack. In this round here, it's not really the case. It kind of feels a bit moot to mention it now. But I did notice prior they had a couple of members looking to threaten towards yellow and others also going into admin at the same time. We're very used in EU to seeing teams just say, we're an admin team, which is exactly what Empire do. Or other teams might like to prioritize going inside of yellow. It does kind of give you that choice. Whereas some LATAM teams, it feels like to mix that up and kind of give pressure on multiple sides of the map. It's always really interesting to watch.
I think it's a good way of doing things because what you'll generally see with the top four hold here is teams as the defender will just sort of sit deeper and deeper back from meeting towards yellow stairs. They'll be push back, and it just takes too long to clear the entire top floor and then hold yellow stairs to enable you to get in and get a plant as well. So pushing from both sides does start to deal with that time issue, but it's not something that we're seeing coming out of Liquid just yet. Utility is burnt inside of there. Out comes the nade, and away goes the utility. Dan's position just became perilous. He needs to hold on to this for as long as he can, but he needs to be careful in doing so because the challenge could come in from multiple angles now. It could come from the door, from the balcony, from Copy, where he's being pushed from at the minute. So he needs to be very careful that he doesn't overstay his welcome here in meeting.
There's a little bit of a dance inside there just to constantly dodge around the plenty of angles that can constantly challenge you. I love this, by the way. Oh, surely he just saw the pixel. I think he did see it, but didn't quite manage to click in time. They might not know that he's dropped away in this spot right here. He could do massive damage if they're not too careful, depending on where it is they come bolting in from. They choose the right window, no damage will be done. Nesk finding one. Now they're aware and he can drop that through the last hatch. He's on the downstairs into the warm embrace of his teammates. And will stay alive for now, but good pressure coming out of Liquid as we get into the final 30 seconds.
It's time to start thinking about getting the diffuser down. Paluh's trying to do everything he can. He's jiggling this way and that to get an angle onto the man inside a bathroom, but out comes the Toxic Babe canister from Scyther in that position, playing behind that deployable shield. He's going to be able to burn potentially the rest of this round. There's going to have to be a push come in. PSK and Muringa do exactly that. The smoke's gone. That gives the opportunity. ShepparD goes down. Sexy Cake is in and planting. This is all but over. Paluh finds the final kill onto Dan, and that's Liquid 4-1 here on Consulate, and it's proving to be a great map choice for them so far.
Isn't it just? I honestly thought there for a second that ShepparD would be ignored on the downstairs. Was looking to play with the C4 through that lobby hatch. Tossed it up there as someone's going for a plant on front door. Boom. Round is over. But in the same way that we saw, for example, in I think it was round, I want to say it was 2. They got into a spot where they smoked off the connector on the top floor. And not doing very well with it. Let us show you how we do it in LATAM. And that is when you're going to see some real damage being dealt. Let's see what Empire choose to do. It's not. I spoke about the different sites they could step to here, and we thought for a second maybe we see the downstairs, the top floor hold coming back out again, but no, they're going downstairs once more, and well read into by Liquid, changing out the Hibana for the thermite at the last second. They've kind of, dare I say, guessed right with that one.
Certainly seems that way. We'll see as the round goes whether it manages to get them the win or not. It's just been so far such a good attack coming in from Liquid onto this site that it is not going to be easy for Empire to hold it down. Everything they tried to adapt and change last time around, although it got them closer, it still didn't get them over the line. Scyther needs to be careful. He was playing on and around that window previously, and Paluh was very aware of it, so it's something that I'm sure is going to be in sharp focus for Team Liquid here, and they don't need much invitation to take an early kill if given the opportunity. So Scyther just needs to play that one with a little bit of caution. Goes to look for the peak. Is he going to get away with it? He's just waiting for the man to appear. He goes for the jump out, actually. Back in. That was already prepped. Empire looking to get aggressive here.
Finds one. Could be pretty transformational for them. But equally, Paluh's a bit wise to it at this point. Probably aware that he might find himself stepping up to another window not too far away. And there he is. Scyther, the one now hanging outside of here. Got to be so careful here as well, because one small peek, one small catch removes 2 frags, removes one of your boys who's been playing super well all day so far. No, he's away just fine for now. So Empire again looking to cause trouble in the early round, and Liquid are just saying no. We're having none of it. We are ready for it.
I love what we're seeing out of Liquid as well. We saw NESKWGA and Paluh dominating in Game 1 against TSM, and now we're seeing Muringa and PSK stepping up and really doing their part here on Consulate, and that is again something that's so important for what could potentially be a championship roster. You've got to, if you want to win titles, you've got to be able to have that depth. You've got to have your games where if somebody's quiet, somebody else steps up, and Liquid inside of the first 2 maps are starting to show us the capability for that. Now Nesk, he's moving in through admin. He's got himself established, boots on the ground, can start sweeping across this top floor. We can see Empire, they're starting to drop back towards site. Liquid so far have dealt with this very well, but Dan knows that Muringa's there, and that is one that Liquid should be familiar with. It's a Pinot special from NIP. He loves to hit players on the prone like that, and Dan has shown that EU are more than capable too.
I mean, only Dan at this point. I do want to cast your eyes over for a second the kills on the side of Empire right now. 1-1, 1-8-1. Only Dan has really been participating. You know, I was thinking about this C4 about 10 seconds ago. I was like, how crazy would it be if he got to a window, yeeted a C4 over that half wall that player's been laid down behind the entirety of the half and gets a kill? He's just gone and done it. Magical from Dan. A really big kill for them. And now Nesk is playing a little bit of kiss chase here with him. No, it's JoyStiCK going down. Nesk finds him nice and simple. Still a 4 versus 3 for Empire.
NESKWGA is a smacker on him there as he catches him back in the bathroom rotate, and that leaves us now 4 versus 3. Liquid fighting back, but lots of work to be done. Only 40 seconds left on the clock here. We've got Diffuser down cold on the ground, needs to be collected. We've got kills that need to be found, and we've got an Empire side who they are ready to just turtle down, hunker down inside a site and see the clock tick out on this one. There's one man left inside a bathroom. It's Dan. He's not really moved all too far from the kills that he's gained so far, and he's going to keep himself in that position with 15 seconds left to go. There's a lot of work to be done for Team Liquid here, but how about that? Nesk giving Scyther the spray down. 3 versus 3 now. Paluh does have the diffuser, but I'm not sure if he's in a position to get to site quickly enough. PSK taken down. Dan has never been dealt with. Nesk is who manages to find the kill, but time ticks away, Des, and that's going to be Empire winning the round based on the clock, based on that sand just slipping through the hourglass, and they just couldn't find the kills, Team Liquid, in time.
Absolutely that, right? I think if you'd given them another 10 seconds or so, that could have been a Liquid round, to be honest, but Dan, being the troublemaker that he is, really slowed them down, became disruptive, was a thorn in their side, through 2 kills that I would wager aren't exactly obvious kills, right? The lying down one on the anti-window and getting the spray down onto the man and rappel outside is a little bit cheeky. Then the C4 over the half wall, you would wager the members of Liquid weren't exactly being aggressive or putting themselves in a spot to get so easily picked off by Dan, yet he still managed to make it happen. And that's the first time all half we've seen Empire really be comfortable in doing that. I'll touch again on how the kills are shaped out for them. Look, one kill for every single member on Empire except for Dan, who's currently sat on 10. He dragged them through those 2 rounds in that first half. They are lucky to have 2 rounds all at the moment, to be honest.
And this is why we picked up on Dan coming into this game. You know, we said that he has really brought himself to the forefront, and he's been that player who can find the kills when JoyStiCK isn't. And that certainly is the case here. But as you say, they can't rely on it to this degree. It's all well and good replacing kills from one player, but you can't be replacing kills from forwarders.
10 seconds left.
Absolutely not. Well, we're into the second half. Empire the ones switching onto the attack. With Liquid being at 4 rounds on their first half, I can't imagine they'll be too upset about how that has gone for them at all. Whereas for Empire, big questions to be asked, because now pace and timing, the onus comes onto them the same way it was on Liquid in the first half. And if there is anything we have criticized the 2 Russian teams in EUL4, Virtus Pro and Empire, and don't ask me why, I have no idea why it's just the Russian teams that really struggle with this. Time has not been their friend, and apparently neither has Paluh as he gets the entry kill onto JoyStiCK.
Great start for Team Liquid once again, although Empire opening up the wall very, very quickly. That's the breach done inside of 30 seconds, which is going to see Liquid taking a little bit more pressure. But if PSK keeps this angle and can find himself a kill with the TCSG out of the breach, that would be a big play. SexyCake, as I suggested, getting himself out on the roam, playing the Vigil, loves to be mobile inside a consulate and quite often has a lot of success. I'm not sure if Empire have got his location locked down or not, but they need to be very aware of the man behind the mask, because he could well be the man behind their downfall if given the opportunity.
Absolutely, you got to worry about those top floors right now, and that's what Empire are putting their focus on. They've got people looking to clear up on this top floor and also on this ground floor. Muringa the one feeding that information back and forth. It's enough to tell them there's someone here, they're pushing across, be mindful of this angle. Could be an absolute freebie if they know that it's Dan that's pushing down here as well. Again, the one player that has stepped up for them to date. You shut him down, there's a fair to high chance that you're probably going to walk away the winner in any given round. This is a well and true Ash crouch walk around the map style of play, though.
Just looking to see if he could get the peek on the man behind the white van, but PSK just keeping himself far enough over so that he's not exposed. But I don't think Liquid are aware of Dan's presence, and that's going to be a big problem as he finds the kill onto PSK. But that's Dan's opportunity gone now. He's going to be challenged. It's Muringa on the pulse trying to take it, but cannot get shots to land. Always finds SexyCake. ShepparD getting the diffuser down, so Empire once again reverting to that objective style of play, and it all comes down to Dan as he finds the kill. ShepparD does activate the diffuser. 2 versus 3. It's down to Muringa and Nesk. First kill comes in for Nesk. Second. It's big. It's big. 2 versus 1 now as the man count swings around. But ShepparD, he is a clutch master. He can get these. He finds the first onto Nesk. It's now the low health of Muringa. That's all he needs to find. The pulse steps out, but he's crouched. He doesn't see him. He's got the nitro in hand. He finds the kill. He finds the kill on low health. Des. Muringa, does he know where the plant has gone down though? Des, he's not going to have time. He's got about 4 seconds seconds left to find this. He's surely not going to get there. No, muringa has lost based on the fact that he didn't know where the diffuser was. ShepparD just does enough to win the round for Empire. I can't believe what we're seeing.
That's insane. I mean, the fact that he's come through that room as well is what's the real kicker, is he'll be kicking himself saying, oh man, I was in that room as well. Close, but no cigar, as they tend to say. Empire finding that third round, and it's quite unbelievable, given how dominant Liquid have been, that Empire are currently sat at 3 rounds. I'm not afraid of going on record and saying that either. 2 rounds now coming down to the clock, I feel, for Empire's favour. That's not a comfortable win. That's not a reassuring win that if it comes down to, I don't know, a 5-5 situation or even overtime, that you can win rounds out. That's, if nothing else, more down to Liquid than it is down to Empire. But I will give some lean towards Empire. That was a very good, clean execute. They were in a 4 versus 2 for a while, and it like, okay, well, they still managed to get the plant down here. Things have gone well for them, and Liquid kind of caught sleeping for a few seconds. More of that from Empire. We'll find ourselves at 4-4, and maybe, just maybe, they have a way back into this game.
There's a lot of ups and downs in that round. It was a real roller coaster as it looked like Liquid might just be able to turn around that difficult 2 versus 3, but ShepparD just managing to squirrel himself deep enough away and waste enough time that muringa just could not get back in time. Now we're heading into round 8. Liquid do still have the lead, but the fight back could be on from Empire as they get themselves their first attack on the board. They're going to be attacking onto the same site again. It is Garage. I'm sure, though, this time Liquid are going to deal much, much better with that Dan factor. They're not going to allow him to just walk down the stairs and dominate the round as he did last time.
This roam game is always such a big part of it. Like, every single time. They know that Empire love pushing their way in from admin, sweeping their way across and then down. Here they've got Always, who would normally go and join them on the top floor, looking to do some support and to getting this wall open. But even with the frag nades coming in, 2 of them, in fact, they cannot remove that electric claw from the wall. So well positioned by PSK. Now Empire are going to have to change tack and go and focus on this full clear to try and get rid of the electric claw from Piano, which will involve clearing out the rest of the map first.
Yeah, they got that wall open really quickly last time around, but as you say, it just allows Liquid now to have a little bit of focus elsewhere. They don't need to keep one eye on the breach constantly. muringa playing with the pulse down in archives again, just feeding information into his team. Paluh being challenged from the Visa stairs there, and he is going to drop away from meeting. Top floor is really not the place to be losing your life here on a Garage defense. Sexy Cake does manage to find the kill onto Always, so that's going to be a better roam coming out of the Vigil this time around and leaves Liquid with an advantage 5 versus 4.
There we go, then the 2 kills they were looking for to start things off. 1 for Sexy Cake and 1 for Paluh, brings it down to a 5 versus 3 with still 100 seconds on the clock. That is tons of time for Liquid to be looking for here to try and cause more disruption. Empire and have to buck up their ideas as they run face first into Nesk. The end of his barrel is as deadly as anything else, and we know that. A double kill coming in for him. This could be a flawless round if he finds one more, but ShepparD just a little bit better in that moment finds Nesk for free with a nice little quick flick onto him as he comes charging down yellow. But a 4 versus 1A, surely there's no comeback on that. Ooh, okay, I see you. Fair play.
You would like to think not, but with a minute left on the clock, he at least has time on his side, does ShepparD here. Now 1 versus 3, knows there's another find. Sexy Cake, surely not. That's 3 out of 5, Des. He needs to find 2 more for what could be a 1 versus 5 ace clutch. It would be almost unheard of. ShepparD finds himself at the bottom of Spiral now. He's looking to see if he can find another man, bring it back to a 1 versus 1. Just shooting, taking challenges, pre-firing every single angle, but can't find anybody yet. Opens up the barricade, has no choice. Spotted out by the default cam. They know exactly where he's coming from, so Liquid can't really be forgiven if they lose this one from here. PSK muringa, they just need to lock this down. Looking for the challenge in from Garage there. They know that he's on this single door. There's a man hard inside of that wall, just ready to take the fight. But ShepparD switches it up. He comes round from an alternative angle, but he takes some shots and gives away his position. He knows exactly where they are, but he can't find the shots. PSK shuts it down. Team Liquid, they get themselves on to 5-3.
Another 3k finesse, by the way. Why does this keep happening? Last map and this map now, with my count, I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 3Ks NESKWGA's walked away with. That's 6 rounds that he is essentially solo won for the team.
And that's before you pick up any of his other kills. That's just literally rounds where he's having big multi-kill rounds. That's 18 kills in 6 different rounds before you even factor anything else in. Absolutely unreal performance so far from him today, but it hasn't seen Liquid home free just yet. Empire are fighting hard here. They have got themselves back into this one. 3-5, but again, another close round there where ShepparD did manage to make a bit of a go of the 1v5. He managed to get himself back into it. Up to that point, Liquid had had the run of things, but maybe just got a little bit sloppy towards the end there and ran a few kills into ShepparD. But back onto the top floor, I'm sure it's not going to be a mistake that they're going to be making again. We're going to see the nested bulletproof camera coming in from PSK. So quite often you'll see an Aruni laser gate just thrown in front of that as well, and it just prevents any throwables from taking it down. You can't get the view on the side of it because you've shot out the soft wall above the reinforcement and put it inside. It makes it very difficult to clear out.
I think at this point probably not going to make use of the laser gate for that purpose, although PSK does still have one in back pocket. I spoke earlier on about JoyStiCK being the old Ash Jaeger main, how he's moved between things like smoke, how he became quite famed for his Jackal play. The Jackal play is what's going to make an appearance, and if there's any time to make an impact, it's now, whilst you're at 1-7 and your team really quite sorely needs you to start showing up, because again, across 3 members, Scyther, JoyStiCK and Always, they only have 4 kills across 8 rounds.
Well, this is it. We've spoken about the ping issues for JoyStiCK and Team Empire when they've been playing online, but it's not something that they can use as a reasoning now. They need to be getting in and getting kills. It's going to be Dan once again taking the opener, this time onto Muringa. So that's the Maestro gone. Those cams will be locked in position wherever they're looking, and there will be no opportunity to use the laser for any sort of denial or any sort of gadgetry taken away. There we go. Scyther managing to shoot out a Nitro, but it doesn't matter as SexyCake. He's ready in the bathroom to take him down. Dan once again. This is an absolute one-man army. Des out goes the Nitro. Won't be successful. Team Liquid, 2 Nitros, no kills. SexyCake, 2 kills as he finds one onto JoyStiCK. 3 versus 3. And again, another round that is just slipping away from Empire slowly.
That entry onto Muringa, by the way, that is Dan's, like, every single round I've seen them attack on this map, that is exactly what he does. He repels at the right side of the window, gets himself onto the angle, looks to contest him towards connector. Maybe a little bit of a misread there on Liquid's side, not understanding Empire's behaviors to the full, but that is a thing that we see Empire do all the time. It's a bit of a lazy early pickoff, one that they'll look back on and say if they lose this round, was that a bit of a slip up on our side there? Should we have known a bit better? Quite possibly, but that's Always on service stairs. Peaks a little bit too low. It's SexyCake to find himself a triple in the round. So even when Nesk, Paluh, even them two still being alive and not having a massive impact, you can still count on SexyCake.
Certainly can, especially in the roam here on console using Vigil. Hasn't been off-site too much, and he's actually, on the Jaeger this time around. And it certainly has benefited him now then. He could still get the ace. They are still there for the taking. He finds the 4th. Oh, wow. They just keep feeding into him. There's one more to go here, and it is going to be ShepparD. But no, ShepparD shuts him down and spoils the party. Finds a second, and he could really damage Team Liquid here. Thinks about getting that diffuser down. He is going to take the opportunity. Out comes the ping. I think he's just trying to bait the man out, trying to get him into a gunfight, find out exactly where he is. Just lengthens the angle a little bit. Knows that he's in bathroom, so may have the opportunity to stick this one. He's going to go with the diffuser. Nesk just waiting for him to pop out, but ShepparD in the 1v3 does. He threatened it last time around. He finished it this time.
That was big. Yeah, I mean, for a second, SexyCake, 4 kills for him. One of those rounds that you look at and say that should be done and dusted, but ShepparD, like you say, vengeance after the previous round. Empire are still keeping themselves in this game. I'd still say again, with the way things have played out, Liquid should have closed this game out already. It feels like a couple of the rounds being a little bit dicey, but Empire are showing that even when you feel they're done, they're still grabbing at your ankles and saying, no, you're coming down here with me. This could turn into a real scrap and could be the first overtime game that we see on the B stream if things carry on this way.
The thing is, you've got to look at that situation, and Liquid have got to be kicking themselves there. You know, you've got one player who's put 4 kills in, and then you've lost the round. Like, you can't be losing a round where you've got SexyCake putting 4 kills in, and then ShepparD's able to come back and hit a 1v3 like that. It just can't happen if you're going to go on to win a group, an event, something of the stature of the Mexico Major. These teams will punish you, and that's exactly what Empire does. We spoke about the clutch factor of ShepparD coming into this. He just makes such good decisions when he's in those positions, those situations. He always seems to find a way out of it, and once again he does exactly that. And Empire, they keep fighting, they keep breathing, somehow they keep themselves alive on console.
All right, let's see if they can keep on breathing just for a couple more rounds and get themselves over the finish line. Imagine now if they bring this all the way back to a 7-5 or some Adapt and take it away from Liquid. That would be probably the upset of the day and one that you'll be looking at and saying, no way in hell that ever should have happened. However, a good couple of rounds doesn't necessarily guarantee an absolute win. ShepparD doing a lot in those rounds as well, mind you. Nesk and Paluh a little bit quiet those last couple of rounds, but we always know they can strike big when it really comes down to it.
Door getting opened by JoyStiCK, looking to move in on the Jackal towards Visa. It's going to be a bit of a combined push, I would imagine, with some attention towards the top floor and some towards the middle floor as well, all at the same time. ShepparD, an interesting use of a Yokai drone there, just getting an external angle with it. I'm guessing that it's on the top of one of the window frames. We've got Paluh underneath with the pre-placed Nitro. Not going to hit its mark, though, as he thinks JoyStiCK has moved in, but the information game is being won out by Empire, and JoyStiCK is just one step ahead of him there. Just manages to take a quick shuffle back outside of that double door and keep himself alive. Now, Dan, once again, he's played this position so often so far in this game. We've come to expect Liquid to know that he's there, but he just seems to keep catching people.
Just again, I always speak about down on this rappel, looking through meeting, looking to cause some damage. If you're not careful, you don't respect him, he will take your head clean off your shoulders. So imagine this time around after Muringa got caught from there, maybe there's a bit of a wake-up call to Liquid of let's be a bit more careful this time. You've got Scyther on connector, one looking on main door. So rather than trying to take inside control strictly here, they just want to make sure no one can step in. As I say, that in goes Dan himself to look for something. JoyStiCK finding one. Are they aware of Dan being inside and looking for this challenge? Because if they aren't, he could cause untold damage. He knows that there's one, likely Nesk again, playing inside a bathroom. What about the angle? Seemingly just missing each other. But when they find each other, my God, is it going to be explosive?
Scyther looks to take the challenge. Dan backs him up. Nesk somehow keeping himself alive in behind that reinforcement, but they don't see ShepparD, who shuts down Dan, drops the hatch, but always manages to find PSK. 3 versus 4 now. 50 seconds left to go, so still plenty of time for Empire, but they don't really have control over the areas that they need to control at the moment. ShepparD back inside of Piano on the Echo. There's at least one Yokai been shot out, possibly both. So he's going to be looking just purely to get kills and help his team. Scyther manages to get the kill onto Nest. That's the top floor now in the control of Empire. 30 seconds left to go. There's the question answered about the Yokai. It was left. It's not anymore as it gets taken down. Scyther's looking to drop that hatch. And here we are. Liquid completely pinned back into bathroom as the diffuser is planted. But it's now 2 versus 2.
Good idea, I think, here as well for both members to go charging up yellow stairs. They need to get rid of these members hanging on the top floor. But the thing is, they've dropped away, Ace. They're not even on the top floor anymore. They're looking after ghosts here. It's like trying to punch smoke. It's simply not going to happen. One on the downstairs, I believe. One is playing on the outside. The other one, oh my God, he is a slithery snake here as well. Lay down JoyStiCK on the other side of the round desk. Scyther making use of the shield against them. They've got about 5 seconds to make this work. JoyStiCK springs up and finds one. He's looking for number 2. Knows that he's playing out towards Spiral. Now sees the man. Nowhere near enough time to make this one happen. Even with Muringa finding himself another kill. He's onto a 3k. May as well make it the 4th, my son. Simply not going to happen. Another round goes the way of Empire, and things are even at 5 and 5.
Smart play from JoyStiCK there, just showing his experience. He knows there's about 10 seconds left, so as long as I shoot on that door frame, nobody's coming in with time to do anything about the diffuser here. All the way back, Des. It was 4-2 to Liquid. We now find ourselves 5-5. We are guaranteed of a full timeout where it's out for Liquid to do something about the momentum that Empire have been able to gain. They need to. The thing is, I would say they need to come in and get aggressive and get some early kills potentially, give themselves a man advantage, but what does that mean when you've got ShepparD on the other side, who's going to get close to a 1v5, then he's going to win a 1v3? It's just showing that there's too many options for Empire right now. There's nothing for them to be scared of here.
Nothing to be scared of. There could very well be, after that timeout for either team, a little bit of a conversation. We'll see what it shapes up into. Now with this setup again, coming out of the side of Liquid, looking again towards this anti-information style that they played a couple of times so far. Empire the ones who went the full margin and ran away with the things like the mutes as well. But look on the attacking side, Ace. You've also got Scyther bringing along the Lion. I wonder if that's an anticipation of a more aggressive setup where they're looking to play more off on their own, looking to be more aggressive, and having things like the Lion and the Jackal on side is going to help with that to no end.
Certainly is. Now then, Dan last time was able to creep his way down the rear stairs very successfully and get kills for Team Empire. Just really able to split the Liquid defense open here in Garage. That was when Empire was successful. So again, something that Liquid needs to stay focused on. Just because it didn't happen in the very last round doesn't mean that it won't happen again. Scyther heading towards the top floor potentially. He's going to shoot out the console office windows, so he might look to get up there on the Lion, and again, just as you say, use that E1D scanner, make it difficult for the roamers, try to pin them down. We've got Sexy Cake out on the Vigil, which we've seen time and time again. Nesk on the Malusi as well. They are pretty much the roaming pair here for Liquid on console.
Indeed, they are. Oh, I love this angle as well. The number of times, like, I don't know why it sticks in my head so firmly. I remember Kanto playing inside the doorway at the top of Spiral. Someone got on that rappel and just banged him. And I was like, bro, why are you standing in a double doorway? But it's because realistically, you don't really expect a rappel to come from Spiral Staircase windows like that. One of those where you look at and go, oh, well, okay, I won't make that mistake again. It is what it is, but no one being found at least in that instance.
Shepherd droning in from yellow stairs. No contest there. He is able to move in, just pinging out the location of Nesk. I think they're well aware of where he's playing. He's been in this area previously. Empire, they need to get in there, keep that confidence, keep that movement, move in there aggressively and find that kill. JoyStick just being cautious about moving into benches there. Going to hold an angle onto the round desk. If they can force a little bit of rotation, a little bit of movement from Nesk here, then it could be dangerous. But Paluh very much on the cover there if JoyStick decides to hop on in. He's going to hold that angle for the time being. I think he was just conscious of being pushed from Visa door there, but that won't be the case. JoyStick, as soon as he goes in here, if he chooses to, he's going to lose his life. But right now, he's just looking to fight through the soft wall. Nesk somehow just keeping himself down, prone, and underneath all those bullets that are raining in above him.
I mean, here we go. That's the entry you're looking for as well. Scyther, who's been pretty quiet throughout the game, finding Sexy Cake is one thing, but hey, it's balanced back down to the 3 versus 3. What's kind of explodes in this final 60 seconds or so, as you come to expect at the time when it really starts to count. The difference between win and defeat comes down that close. That west wall still closed up. The piano... Ooh, that's what you were looking for. Always being taken out. PSK, the one playing below here, looking to get a finish off, I think, but can't quite connect onto it. And that's going to slow Empire down ever so slightly. They've still got one C4 to play with on Muringa here too. So keep a close eye on that, because that could be the real round winner for them.
We've seen a lot of Nitro play so far today, but not too much success. But Liquid just managing to get those kills at an absolutely crucial moment there. 15 seconds left to go. Scyther and ShepparD, the only 2 men for Empire that can do anything about this. It looks like Liquid might just have the opportunity to close out the game here with a match point if they get this round. ShepparD challenged at the bottom of Spiral. Muringa and Paluh, they mop up the round. They get Liquid that match point opportunity. 6-5 now, but this one is on a knife edge.
I mean, round 12. Sure, the timeout helped. They slowed things down from the side of Empire. That C4 onto the sledge, no doubt, a massive contributor to that as well. But it can all go wrong in the last round, as we've seen repeatedly on the map, in which case overtime for the first time on the B stream. We'll take that every day of the week. Console and meeting, the top floor going to be where we head for round 12. Nothing really screaming at me in terms of changes here. It has been much the same setups between both sides. No Lion coming through in this round, at least for the side of Empire. And Dan's having his book duties removed from him. This time round, I believe it is Scyther going on to play that. Dan going across onto the Ash.
This could be where it is all decided then. Liquid, they're going to head up to console office. We've only seen them defend it once back in round 9. Empire were able to win that round, so they are without a defensive victory up here on the top floor. It all started with an opening kill from Dan onto Muringa. He got a second as well, and it really did give Empire the advantage that they needed to close the round out. So Liquid, they do seem to be performing better when they can get the opening kills. If they can get those entries and get themselves an advantage, as we saw in the last round, they do seem a little bit more able to get it over the line. Empire have certainly had something to say about that with the clutch moments from ShepparD, but by and large, Liquid need to come out here and just get themselves a really good start in this round.
Attackers are moving out to locate a
Got some bad news to deliver from the other stream. If you don't want to hear the results, close your ears now. But Dark Zero are currently 6-1 up over G2. They are storming. In fact, 6-2, sorry. On Chalet. I'm at that lovely news watching as well. I'm well sad we don't get to cast that one. It would have been a great one to see. And to be fair, this game's also been great. We'll get to cast Shelly, no doubt, tomorrow at some point, Ace. I look forward to it then. NESKWGA, one playing in basement on the pulse here, looking to do some damage. The intel we've seen fed across from there, we saw it in the earlier round in this half too. So they are making good use of that as well. It is being an effective pick for them. Keep a close eye on those C4s because only 2 of them on side. You're looking for at least 1 to be effective.
Dan, once again, you commented on this. There's just getting up there on the side of those windows, looking to try and get himself an early pick. He's not going to get any joy so far, nearly a minute into the round. Liquid, you can feel, they know that the pressure is going to come. Paluh just taking that drone out from long distance there, and every one of those that they can get is going to be a huge victory for them to just try and keep that information out of the hands of Empire. Scyther established on the run. That Banshee is massively important for muringa, who takes the aggressive route, steps around the corner, and always was not expecting that. Des absolutely annihilated by the Alder.
I mean, it's an ugly one to lose as well. muringa, who's been having such a good game so far. You give it all the way to him. Man, bit of a stinger. That picking off Always as well with those sledge frag grenades, as well as the sledge itself is going to be not too bruising on the top floor, but you want those frags to be trying to clear the player inside a meeting. In this case, muringa, the man who's just swung and killed you for free. Outside of that, they have no frags left on side. That's going to make it a little bit harder to deal with him. Maybe look towards the Jackal getting downstairs, the Ash or the Buck. That then also means taking control of something like Lobby. JoyStiCK.Empire going to be the next challenger. He's the one now stepping up. Looking to threaten the man playing in here by himself. Is he going to step round? Won't have a chance. There's someone, I believe, yes, it beside the plane, back inside of admin, that collects the kill. They've removed the Maestro. The question now is, can they look to get this plant down in the next 60 seconds?
So they have the time that they need, but they don't have too much time to waste. They need to deal with NESKWGA underneath as well. Paluh, of course, there with that heartbeat scanner will be able to pinpoint a nitro cell. Paluh finds the kill onto JoyStiCK, and that could be critical. 40 seconds left to go. SexyCake makes a challenge, but he's just after the tickle for damage. He doesn't want to go in too hard and throw his life away on that. The challenge will come through Connector. PSK doesn't see his man, though. It's 3 versus 2 as kills trade in either direction. Dan and Scyther, they've got 25 seconds to rescue this one for Team Empire, and right now it's looking unlikely. It's looking impossible as SexyCake and Paluh find the final 2 kills and close out what has been a very tight game between Liquid and Team Empire.
I'd wager it started pretty loose, to be honest to you. Very far from tight. Liquid looked dominant, and Empire did manage to snag